So, this is just going to be a short little rant, but I wanted to briefly talk about something in video games that I think really can make or break how compelling a game is for me personally. I think the best way to put it is that games with a high skill ceiling and zero artificial upgrades are incredible video games. What game does this the best, in my opinion? Rocket League. There really is something special about a game that gives you full control over the moves that you can do, knowing that you'll probably be pretty crap at it at first. If you've played Rocket League before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You can picture the training session that they make you do right at the start of the game when you boot it up for the first time. You're given all the tools that you need to play the game. There's not going to be any upgrades to go faster or to hold more boost or to give yourself better aim or anything like that. You're taught the controls and then you're told, all right, go practice, go learn, and go figure out this game. Play a few matches, do a few training sessions, and try to win. Almost anyone who is playing Rocket League for the first time will suck. There's no way around it. It's really, really hard to start playing for the first time and be even decently good at the game. But if you keep playing, your skill will improve. I recently went back and watched a few Rocket League clips that I took when I was first starting to learn how to play the game, and they are painful. Now, I'm not saying that I'm good now, because I'm really not, but I've definitely improved a ton, and getting better at the game is such a gratifying experience. It really gives you that same feeling that improving at a sport or something of the sort does. If you put in effort, you will get better at the game. This is a very simple concept, but it's extremely hard to implement in, every genre of video game. And while I think it works great for Rocket League, I'm not saying that it would work for every game. I think there are some games where artificial upgrades do work in their favor, but I feel like those games should try to strike a balance between you feeling like you're gaining skill as a player and your character getting more powerful. While I will always respect the franchise for its iconic status and its influence on the gaming industry as a whole, the franchise that I think is the complete opposite of this concept is Pokemon, and to a greater extent, turn-based RPGs in general. Nothing is more draining or more boring to me than grinding in a level-based RPG. There's little to no skill involved in the process of becoming better, and all of your power increases come from battling as many other Pokemon as possible. Now, I have enjoyed some Pokemon games, and I'm not saying that any game with turn-based RPG style combat and a leveling system is bad. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's just that, to me, the feeling of progression and accomplishment doesn't really exist when I'm playing Pokemon games. Now, there's a lot to enjoy as far as exploration goes or character design for the Pokemon. There's lots of great things about Pokemon games, especially the early ones. My personal favorites are Platinum and Heart Gold. But the one thing that most players won't get out of those games is a sense of getting good at them. Now, I can't say the same for competitive play in Pokemon because that's a whole different beast. I'm just talking about the base game as most people will experience it. Now, not all games can give you the freedom of control that Rocket League gives you. It would be silly to expect or demand that. I think the game that I've played most recently that strikes a good balance is Silksong. Silksong gives you many upgrades, but in order to beat the game, your skill level is going to have to continue to increase as you play. If you don't get better at the game, there's a good chance that you just won't get past many of the bosses. As you progress through the game, your skill and your ability to control Hornet improves and improves until you've become a master of the combat. Another game that I really do love, but I feel like is a little too upgrade heavy and doesn't do this as well, is Hades and Hades 2. While I know that you can technically beat these games without really getting a lot of upgrades, it's almost virtually impossible to do so, and the game knows that you will be relying on upgrades to beat it. Now, you can keep playing after the credits roll and make the challenges harder and harder on yourself and get better at the game, but when you look at just the main game and how most people will play it, they rely on the upgrades to progress through the story and to progress through the game, instead of relying on pure skill to progress. You probably are getting better at playing the game as you play, but it doesn't strike the balance that quite scratches the itch like Rocket League and Silksong do. Anyways, I didn't want to make this a super long video, and these thoughts really aren't that well fleshed out anyways, but I just wanted to talk about it quickly. Maybe I'll make a longer video later, but first I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys like upgrades in video games? Should more games focus on you getting better as a player rather than using upgrades? Let me know in the comments what you think, because I want to have a discussion with you guys on some games that you think do this well and some games that you think don't do this well. And that's all. We'll see you next time.